Hello everyone, Michael here, and today I'm going to break down one of the most disturbing movies that I've ever seen, Toy Story 4. What I thought was going to be an uplifting children's movie turned out to be a horror story where the character of Woody, voiced by Tom Hanks, ends up homeless after being a victim of organ harvesting. Shortly into Toy Story 4, it becomes apparent that the personalities of some of the returning main characters have been altered. Woody has been made weaker and less confident, now taking orders instead of giving them, while Buzz's IQ seems to have been dropped a few points. The most overt transformation being the character of Bo Peep, who is recast as the heroine of the movie. No longer a damsel in distress, Bo Peep has had a Rosie the Riveter style makeover. She has traded her dress for some slacks and has been getting down and dirty to the extent that her arm has become severed from her body. She is now a strong, independent woman who no longer needs a child and is content living with her cats, sheep. Bo runs the playground, hustling and organizing engagements between other lost toys and visiting children. Imagining the tough life of a toy who's been living outdoors for the past 7 years, such a radical change in Bo's personality would be expected. That is, if such a change was even to be recognized as occurring at all. Rather than acknowledging Bo's transformation, the film instead includes a flashback scene of Bo and Woody together years prior, with Bo acting as a general and displaying the same tough personality traits as present-day Bo. The movie gaslights us into believing that Bo was always this way, and that we are incorrect in remembering her as being calm, kind, and soft-spoken.
Just the word Andy.
Uh-huh. And the boy who wrote that would take you to camp with or without your hat.
I'm sorry, Bo.
By choosing to rewrite history, the writers forfeited the opportunity for a much more meaningful narrative. Rather than showing Bo having to overcome adversity, rising to the occasion, and developing her new personality in the process, we are instead left with a one-dimensional, generic, strong woman character.
Strong woman, strong.
In a fictional world where toys come to life, the writers certainly have the creative license to create characters however they please. It's only due to the already well-established historical canon of Toy Story prequels that such deliberate personality changes to primary characters are notable. With a less assertive Woody, a dumber Buzz, and a new strong and independent Bo Peep, everything so far seems pretty much on par for a 2019 movie. And while I find the fact that some of these changes were made entertaining, I take no real issue with the film thus far. The movie's primary plot centers on Woody and his team needing to rescue their child Bonnie's favorite new toy, an anthropomorphic spork, from an antique store where he's being held hostage by the doll Gaby. Gaby desires to steal Woody's voice box in order to replace her own. Gaby believes that the reason no child desires her is because she was manufactured with a broken voice box. When Woody goes back to rescue Forky, Gaby sends her goon squad of male dummies after him. After backing him into a corner, where any further struggle would be futile, a despondent Woody reluctantly agrees to have his voice box taken from him. The symbolism of Tom Hanks, the patriarch of American movies, having his voice box forcibly taken from him by a female doll who now believes that it is her turn to speak, is hard to miss. Gaby is like the psychotic, manipulative girlfriend who feigns remorse when forcing you to do something that you don't want to do, and then acts all loving and appreciative after getting what she wants. Likely perceiving the moral hazard of this situation, the film's writers later add a scene where Gaby offers to give Woody his voice box back. However, this is only after she is again rejected by a child and deems it as not holding the value she originally imagined it to have. Out of a sense of pity, Woody tells Gaby that she can keep his voice box. However, this in no way negates the initial crime, or retroactively makes the taking of Woody's voice box consensual. I know Hollywood has been adding a lot of scenes to cater to Chinese audiences, but normalizing organ harvesting seems a bit much. The most disconcerting aspect being that this gross infringement of human rights is in the end deemed morally justified. Not only are there no negative consequences to Gaby's actions, but she's actually rewarded by being united with a child. Implying the lesson to be learned is that if you are born a victim of unfortunate circumstances, this gives you the permission to use violence to deprive others of their natural rights and personal property. And if others don't initially accept this, you can expect them to come around after the fact. In the final scene of the movie, as if Woody hasn't already given up enough, he hands over his sheriff badge to Jessie, the character who is the female toy version of himself. Given the, likely concussion-related onset dementia displayed by Buzz throughout the film, Jessie probably is the most prudent choice for a successor. thus coming full circle on the film's underlying narrative that it is time for Woody to step aside and pass on the role as leader. Given Woody's long history as leader of the toys, this seems like a reasonable request. However, this notion could have been communicated more effectively if upon giving up his authority as sheriff, Woody didn't immediately become homeless and completely excommunicated from the society in which he spent his entire existence. This last-minute decision to leave the group seems to go against all his prior principles regarding friendship, loyalty, always sticking together, and being there for when a child decides that he or she needs you.
It doesn't matter how much we're played with. What matters is that we're here for Andy when he needs us. That's what we're made for, right?
Woody gives up serving a higher purpose and makes Bo Peep the new center of his life. Giving in to Bo's temptations, Woody chooses to abandon his responsibilities in exchange for Bo's lifestyle of cardinal pleasures. The movie's answer for the man struggling to find his place in a society that he feels no longer needs him is for him to leave altogether, rather than finding a new role in which he can contribute. A key facet of this ideological propaganda is that everything is a zero-sum game where the building up of one person is never enough by itself. There's also the need to diminish others. Rather than pursuing the commendable goal of creating a fair playing field for everyone, anyone deemed as competition is to be removed entirely. This can be done by either taking away their ability to speak or their ability to think for themselves, making them rely on pre-programmed responses. As a social coach, I help people develop and project their own unique voices so they don't need to steal the voices of others. If you're interested in learning more, feel free to check out my book as well as other coaching options linked to in the description below. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Until next time, ciao.